Time at Southall, pretty exposed really, just a one win, and that was 3 years ago.
And directly in behind him is number 3, and that is Bolton Brown. We've heard from Kieran Fallon, of course, looking to double up for Gay Calloway.
Yeah, this horse often makes the running, and no doubt Kieran Fallon will be trying to make the running today, and didn't run too badly at Ripon last time. Did hang that occasion, so might be happier going this way around.
And we're seeing the return of Zarani. Number 8 is right in behind number 3, and that is John Jenkins' runner, John Egan, on board.
There's only really one piece of form in the middle of last year that gives Zarani any sort of chance, and ended last season on a low. Got fitness and ability to prove.
And number 9 in behind him is Mark Usher's last time out winner at Lingfield, Evaporust.
Running really well at the moment. Missed a race at Lingfield yesterday to run here. Won at Lingfield a few weeks ago. Deserved that victory after some solid, consistent efforts. No reason why he shouldn't go close again.
And in behind, number 10, Sea of Shadows, and now the mount of David Egan, and actually was about to hop up on board her, but he's actually going to meet her closer to the exit here at the paddock. I think she's getting a little bit fizzed up. She's a little bit on her toes, as you can see.
Yeah, well bred filly, but hasn't shown much in 3 runs up to 1.25 miles. Now up half a mile in trip. Needs this step up in trip, handicapping to show a lot more.
So good look at them in the paddock then. Those that we've missed we'll pick up down at the start for the finale here, the 4:25.
Right, we head back to Chelmsford for the 4:25s. Handicap over 1.75 miles. Matt Kelly is the 2-to-1 favourite. Evaporust is 11-4. Sea Sister 9-2 being backed. Bolton Brown 9-1. 10-1 Heron. Sea of Shadows is 18-1. Olympic Legend 25s, along with Aliatric. Saventi 33. Zarani 100-1. 10 run here. Matt Kelly the favourite.
Yeah, McKelly the favourite on the back of that good performance at Southall over the 1.5 miles. Steps up in trip, and the apparent improvement was that he appreciated the 5% and a weaker race on that occasion, because he did really bounce back and I suppose surprise a few.
Yeah, and the thing about the why he's running here today is because I think Southall is closed. The 5% meetings there are closed till October, so he's clearly in good form, up £7, but he still fits into this week race. And as a 3-year-old against some older horses, he's obviously going to take a fair bit of beating. But it is the different surface. You can get exaggerated margins at Southall, and he clearly did like it there, and he'll be of interest when he returns there as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, I think he's of interest here as well, because that was a mighty fine performance last time out, won by well over 4 lengths with plenty to spare. Now, Evaporust, what do we think of Mark Usher's runner? He was a winner at Lingfield last time.
And really deserved that. So many decent place efforts, and just kept bumping into 1 or 2 others in this sort of lowish grade, and finally got the job done in a better race than this. It must be said, over 2 miles, so stamina no problem at all. Went from pretty much trying to lead on that occasion, made virtually all the running, and there's no reason why Evaporust, who missed an engagement at Lingfield yesterday, there's no reason why Evaporust shouldn't give a big run in here today.
Yeah, they've come here instead, it seems. And Ollie Murphy's filly by Born to Sea, Sea Sister, was third at Beverley last time out, beaten only 3.5 lengths. That was over 1.5 miles, and actually had winning form on the turf early July at Catterick over a trip just shorter.
Yeah, and although it was a seller last time at Catterick, it was probably no worse than this race here, really. It's a 0 to 55 contest, and Sea Sister is generally in good form, and for a low-grade contest like this, at least quite a few of these are in decent enough form anyway, so for the grade it's not too bad a finale.
And one that's not been in form, not throwing stones, but Brett Johnson's Heron hasn't been, but seems to be very, very well fancied in the market, beaten off the track by well over 20 lengths at 20 to 1 at Kempton last time out. I mean, there's bits and bobs of form. He has got 2 wins, but you're looking to early last year.
Yeah, and at least the return to Chelmsford might help, and also the fact that it's now in the weakest grade he's ever been, Heron, or slightly weakest grade for a long time anyway. So,
but
yeah,
I guess the fact that he's short and fancied would have to catch the eye somewhat.
Yeah, there was a bit of early money for the horse. As soon as the markets went up last night, he was one who seemed to catch a few people's eyes, but that money has just dried up a little touch anyway. But yeah, he's only thinks, I think he was shorter after initial double-figure price. Yeah.
Okay, and Bolton Brown beaten 6.5 lengths at Ripon last time out. We heard from Kieran Fallon looking to get this horse winning for the first time because she's had, what, 18 goals now?
Yeah, looking to go from the front as well. No doubt Kieran will be on this one to get a quick double up. And probably would have needed a run last time at Ripon, and might prefer as well going this way around. Might help Bolton Brown, but just needs to eke out a little bit of improvement to finally get off the mark.
A couple we didn't touch on. Sea of 17 for Robert Edery.
So yeah, something of a veteran in the race now compared to some of these. Just a 1 career win. That was a Yarmouth 3 years ago, and has got plenty to find with McKelly from the race at Southall recently. And
the likes of Sea Shadows, also quite a big price.
Yeah, Sea of Shadows is the 3 runs, quiet runs in maidens. I would have been interested in any money for Evaporust, who landed a massive gamble in a race here early in the year, and done it in pretty good enough fashion when the second horse was also well backed and they pulled well clear. But there's been little in the form book since. I thought the return to Chelmsford might help Evaporust, but seemingly weak in the market.
Yeah, definitely weak now. At 20 to 1, 70 bigger than that, and Sea of Shadows even bigger. And the one we haven't touched on, we should look at John Jenkins' Zarani, who was beaten a very long way last time out, and in fact recently hasn't been going close at all.
Finished last season on a low and needs to come back in much better form than when Zarani closed out last season. And the only other one we haven't spoken about so far, I think, is Olympic legend for Robert Havlin, who's taken a step up in trip after the last couple of runs, but did run well here in the past. It's a long time ago, though. At least should be fitter after those 2 runs after a long layoff, and Connections persevering with Olympic legend.
Yeah, they sure are. And looking to Olympic legend as actually a winner. You go back to Ireland, actually, going back to, it was 2016 when Olympic legend won over in Ireland, actually as a 2-year-old, so they've been waiting and waiting, but still very lightly raced. In this sphere, obviously, he's a 6-year-old that could be mixing up in the National Hunt game at any time. And looking to the market, obviously McKelly fancied, despite the rise in the weights, an impressive 4-length winner at Southall last time out.
Yeah, just got to prove itself on this surface, though, because we know that Southall can be a surface all of its own anyway, and they're missing engagements there at the moment, so they're coming here. At least they're coming here with a horse in form, the right sort of age group as well, relatively lightly raced. There must be hope of more to come. George Rook looking for a double on the day.
As is Kieran Fallon, and there he is going in on Bolton Brown for Gay Kellaway, who is here cheering her on, hoping that she can get the first victory on her 19th start. McKelly for Richard Hughes, and George Rook about to load into stall 2. And the longest trip on the card, 1 3/4 miles then for the Support the Injured Jockeys Fund handicap class 6, and the 4:25 our finale. And we can go back up to the commentary box with our thanks. Here's David Fitzgerald.
Thanks Rachel, thanks John, everybody. Just 2 to slot in now. Heron and also Sea Sister. Heron will go into 10, Sea Sister into 8. And they're going to deploy the blindfold on on Heron, twice a winner from 30 starts. William Carson in the saddle. Most of them that are in, they seem pretty calm. And one final heave is going to get Heron in. Sea Sister, Catterick winner back in the summer, and she strolls straight in. Right, they're set to go. All in, and they're off in this Support the Injured Jockeys Fund. Handicap over 1 mile and 6 furlongs. McKelly out well, likewise Bolton Brown. And also Olympic Legend and Evaporust sitting handy. The white cheek pieces, Evaporust. That one is now just tucking in behind Bolton Brown and McKelly, followed by 70 and Selma Grage. The maroon and blue jacket on that one's outside is Sea of Shadows, now under David Egan. Already they're quite well stretched. After Sea of Shadows, it's a gap of around 5 lengths to Zarani. Zarani racing towards the rear of the field at this stage. Heron is also well back there in the rear with Sea Sister and also Evaporust. Heron the back marker, but it is Bolton Brown that leads into the home straight first time. And Bolton Brown under Kieran Fallon ahead of the Southwell winner McKelly. George Rook taking off the 5, sharing second with Olympic Legend. And then the Lingfield scorer, first win at Lingfield last time, Evaporust under Isabel Francis. Sea of Shadows then on the outside, Sheepskin Noseband. 70 is in 6th place, 4 lengths off the lead, ahead of Sea Sister and Joe Fanning, who is being followed by Evaporust, and the back pair, Heron and Zarani. Crossing the winning line, and they have got 1 mile to run. And Bolton Brown just gets a flick down the shoulder going into this turn, and takes it in front of Olympic Legend. And on Olympic Legend's inside, the mostly orange sleeves of McKelly, with Evaporust following the main market rival in 4th place. Sea of Shadows is on that one's outside as they're about to head past where they started. 70 is still following those with Sea Sister, and then Heron and Evaporust, and Zarani about 3 lengths detached in last place. They've got 3/4 of a mile to cover in the Support the Injured Jockeys Fund handicap. And the striped sleeves and hat, it is still Bolton Brown that makes the running here to Olympic Legend and Robert Havlin in second. McKelly is in 3rd place. 70 looking to angle off the rail, still just in behind Evaporust, with Sea of Shadows, the yellow cap, chasing the leaders. Sea Sister is still in midfield. The back 3, Evaporust, Heron and Zarani. They've got less than a half mile to cover now. And still it is Bolton Brown leading the way, now shaken up with Olympic Legend on the outside of McKelly, who's going along very nicely indeed, but so is Evaporust, and that is following McKelly, passing the 3. Sea of Shadows chased along, Sea Sister and 70 following. Evaporust, the dark green sleeves, trying to make ground from the back. It is still Bolton Brown, but there's going to be a couple of challenges, you fancy. Bolton Brown inside the 2 in front of McKelly. Evaporust looking for a run with 70 over on the left. Sea of Shadows, Sea Sister, the orange cap, 2 from the left, and Evaporust out wide. It's open here. McKelly takes over, running towards the furlong. Evaporust, though, a very big challenger and responding delightfully for Isabel Francis. Evaporust takes McKelly. Sea Sister running on with Sea of Shadows and Evaporust, but Evaporust has won again under Isabel Francis. Fine performance, tight second. McKelly and the running on Evaporust, then Sea of Shadows and Sea Sister.
Evaporust in style, and after going so close for so long, he has now won back-to-back, and in a fine effort. Well done to Isabel Francis. Take off 7 for Mark Usher. Close in behind, McKelly has ran well once again, and Evaporust also banged there in the photo for second spot. But yeah, plenty to like about this winner.
Yeah, it took a long time to get off the mark, but quickly follows up. The 2 3-year-olds came to the fore and done it in nice style. And yeah, it took a while to get off the mark, but clearly likes the all-weather, likes the sort of trip, and is in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, clearly. And, you know, the fact that we saw the series of good efforts and was in the mix many times, but in the end, back-to-back victories now. This 3-year-old for Mark Usher, and Isabel Francis, she knew the right time to go, kicked on, and she's managed to score, I thought, in really good stuff. McKelly, I think he's definitely a horse that can go on and win again. He's obviously bumped into an in-form runner in Evaporust, and Evaporust much better, because I know that you were quite keen on seeing how well he'd go today. Yeah, the 2 or 3-year-olds came to the fore, but Evaporust ran much better in the first time cheek pieces, and we know that
horse likes it here, ran a really good race when landing a massive gamble back in the early spring, so there's hope for Evaporust yet this winter. But the right two horses came to the fore, the two improving 3-year-olds, and there should be more to come from both of those.
Yeah, and that was our finale, and Evaporust has taken it over 1 mile 3/4 at 16-5 in the end. McKelly 2-1 the favourite, and Evaporust at a very big price was third at 20-1.